Friends, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Live and direct. I'm here. I say, you know what? Let me turn on. I'm here. So, I'm here. Live and direct. How are you this evening? How are you this evening? How are you? How are you guys this evening? How is your weekend so far? How is your weekend so far? Let me start right there. So, how is your weekend so far? How is your weekend so far? Before we even start talking skits, how was your weekend so far? How is your weekend so far, guys? How is the weekend so far? What have you been doing? It's Labor Day weekend. Have you gone anywhere? Are you going anywhere? Do you have any plans this weekend? Anybody have any plans? Weekend has been wonderful. Charmin said the weekend wonderful. Barbara, the father, if you get a three-piece combo, yes? What name? Sonny father need a three-piece combo. Sonny's dad needs a three-piece combo. How is your weekend so far, folks? How is your weekend? What have you been doing? What have you been doing? Anything nice? What have you been doing? That's the question. That's the big question right now. That is the big question. That is the big question. How is your weekend? That's the big question. That's the big question. How is the weekend? Some people say it's not too bad. Good night, Angela Atkinson. Welcome. Shaman, welcome to the chat. Tina, welcome to the chat. Laverne, welcome to the chat. Barbara, welcome to the chat. Jacqueline, welcome to the chat. David, welcome to the chat. Nikki, welcome to the chat. Angela Atkinson, welcome to the chat. Yvette, welcome to the chat. We just have a steady Saturday. Nothing big. You know, nothing big. Just ask how everybody weekend. What have you guys been doing? What have plans, guys? What have planned? What do you guys have planned? Good evening. Wedding tomorrow. David said, I'm wedding tomorrow. Angela Atkinson said, good. Nikki, welcome to the chat. No plans. Cook oxtail and rice and peas tomorrow. Of course, the usual. Long weekend for you, Laverne. Just get some rest. Not going anywhere. Laverne says she's not going anywhere. Laverne says she's not going nowhere. Nowhere to head to. Moderators, thank you for moderating the chat. Thank you very much for that. And also, keeping it clean. Big up to all members, of course. Resting mood. So everybody are rest right now. I think that's what it is for true. It really is resting mode, to be very, very honest. All right, so the giant account story. Sarah, welcome to the chat. The giant account story has gone viral. It looked like everybody talking about this giant account story. It looked like the giant account story is an issue now. Checking on the progress of the roofers. The giant account story has taken wings because now people have different opinions on joint accounts. People have some different views right now upon joint accounts. David said, one of them got the same wedding. Possibly you might you might just love her at the wedding of David. You might just love her at the same wedding. When I rest for the party tomorrow. When is this party? Is Kai's party tomorrow? When is the party? When is Kai's party? Hold on, maybe I missed something. You sure the party is tomorrow? When is Kai's party, guys? Tomorrow? Really? Maybe we missed something there. So, okay, so tomorrow the party. Okay. That's why the channel has been this quiet, because them about for act with little body tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay, I see. Chase to the party at tomorrow. I see. I see what y'all are saying. Mr. What I say. I see. All right. Anthony's complaining about the joint account thing, right? And okay, tomorrow the party. Okay, I see. I see. Antonia complained. I watched it, but I didn't listen to that part with Chase and Candice. I did watch it. So the Antonia complained about his joint account, right? Which I don't think is a problem, but apparently Anthony thinks it's a problem.
You have to get a new upgrade.
Yeah, that's that's crazy. That's rock is big.
Yeah, it's big, but you know, no, seriously. I was kind of thinking about something. I think that we should get a main joint account. I mean, I know we have our small one where we shop and buy little stuff from Costco and stuff, but I mean, like, our main one with our main income and our main revenue, I think we should both be on that. Why are you looking like that?
No, I'm just looking at you. I was just processing what you're saying. But like you said, we do have an account together.
All right, so this is what's going on. A main joint account. Faith is a substance. Let's see. O'Neill.tv. Faith is a substance. I have something for you. You come on the right time, Faith. The right time. Thank you very much for coming on. Faith, I did not forget you. And I do have an email so we can schedule this up. Faith is a substance. O'Neill TV at AOL.com. Faith is a substance. I wanted to email me as to, I know you wanted us to do a live together. I wanted to email me. Just email me, please. That's going to be the channel's email. I've made an email for the channel. That's going to be the email. Major problem. Vanswell says a major problem, them combine the money. Is there a problem with having joint accounts? Is there a problem with having a joint account in marriage? Let me put it in context, because people are going to start believing something else. Joint account. Amber is asking for a joint account. Joint account. Nanya, me feel like I want to come on, Nanya, because me feel like say you have some, and it's not just, maybe not just you, but Nanya, me feel like I want to pop on per screen, you know, some way, somehow. Let me see if I can set up the screen for Nanya right now. Nanya, me just need you to come on screen and come tell you about this joint account. Tell us about, like, give me some ideas as to how you go about your joint accounts, because everybody have a different take on the joint account system right now. I've never combined all of my money with my husband. However, we have transparency as far as what we're doing. Nanya, I have to bring you on. Come, Nanya. No. Nanya, I can't make a text this, because this need more than just the texting right now. Nanya, I need more than just the texting from you right now. Nanya, I'm going to need more than just the texting from you right now. The people are complaining about the joint account. It's not just you guys alone. Me see a bunch of live streams. People are upset about this joint account thing. Nanya, can you please click the link? Nanya, please. Nanya, can you please click this link, please? Come, Nanya. Come, Nanya. Come. Me need some. Me come on for a reason, because it come, Nanya. Come on. Let's go, Nanya. Let's go. Click the link, Nanya. Come on. Gigi, welcome to the chat. Let's deal with this. Make a deal with this. I wouldn't mind having David on because I want to get two sides to the story. I wouldn't mind having David on. Oh, you're out and about. You're out and about, Nanya. Don't worry yourself. I want, because I know you're a lady we always have I know you always have some take as far as marriage is concerned now. Ladies, tell me about this joint account. I've been watching a lot of other reviews. And because I do watch other reviews, guys. Contrary to one thing, I don't just watch my channel, I actually watch what other people do to see exactly what are your takes out there. I do watch to see what the other channels are doing. And what I'm getting from it, what I get from it is that people aren't this. People not so like the joint account at all. So there is a lot of, what you call it? You're out as well, David. That's fine. There is a lot of thing behind the joint account. I hear some things about the joint account, and apparently people don't like the joint account business. Some way, somehow they don't like the joint account. Faith is the substance. I've sent my email. Look for my email. Give me one moment, guys. Let me just make sure that I hook up this with Faith is the substance, because we're supposed to do. Send me at O'Neill.tv at. Apparently the joint account is an issue, right? Faith is a substance. Okay, don't worry. I know not the whole shopping. It's fine. I understand. That's okay, Nanya. I understand. Let's, you can text it. Goddess London, welcome to the chat. Let's deal with it this way. So people are complaining about this joint account. Some people say, hey, the joint account, them not believing in the joint account at all. And Anthony is complaining. In vex. Right? So I'm going to dig into it. Anthony upset as well about the joint account.
That's a little shopping account. That's nothing. I'm talking about when you like stuff like this, when you get yours cut and I bring in my income, we have it together so we both know what's going on in our finances.
Right.
Can you just do that for me, please? I mean, why are you looking like that?
No, I'm just saying, like, what brought this on?
What do you mean? We're married. That's what brought this on.
I know.
What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. I'm just saying, I think that it would be a good idea for us to have two eyes on the accounts and what's coming in and out. What's the big deal?
Why does Amber want a joint account, guys? I know I have an idea, but okay. Why does Amber want a joint account? You said Deontay's wife have a take on it. I think I've seen her take. I think I've seen Deontay reviews his wife do her take on why the joint account, what she think about the joint account. So that was another take as well too. I think let me see if we can pull her up. Let me try to pull up Deontay reviews right now. Let me try to pull up Deontay reviews his wife right now, because she had a take on the joint account business. Let's pull up Deontay reviews his wife. Right? He had his wife on.
This is what Ivy...
Yes, Deontay reviews. I'm going to always make sure so your content get played, sir. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's what O'Neill does. All right, here she comes.
Ooh, let me see. Come here. Come here. All right, stop. Turn around. Let me see. Turn around. Serve it.
Them admire my wife.
That they sold the theater, and she was shocked by it, right? And so when she asked him how much he sold it for, how much he got for it, instead of telling her the exact number, he said, 7 digits. And then not only did he say 7 digits, he would never answer the question how much he exactly got for it. And then he started telling me something. He fell in love with her collarbone, want to make love to her collarbone, and all of this stuff. And
to the old clavicle, the piece of clavicle Amber have. Make some bone soup, some stew. Anyway, continue the Deontay reviews. The old dirty clavicle joke.
And then, not even that, she asked him, can they get joint accounts? And then he been having these little weird faces, and he don't want to get joint accounts. But he told her, yeah. So what do you think? You think married couples should have joint accounts? And should she, knowing the situation that she went through with him, should she get a joint account with Anthony?
I think that married... Oh, you make me want to respond to that first part, but I'm going to stay focused.
Stay focused, Mrs. Deontay. Stay focused. Get this done for us. Tell us what you think. This is Deontay reviews his wife answering the joint account thing, because I want to hear live things on this. It seems like everybody have a part on this.
I do think that married couples should have transparency around their finances. I'll say that first.
Did she just skip the question? I know that Deontay reviews his wife didn't just skip the question. All members, welcome to the channel. I know. Antoinette, welcome to the channel. I know she never just skip it. I hope she not skip it. Abby, welcome to the channel. Welcome in, Abby. Down uncles, welcome in.
Because it's most important to be transparent. It doesn't matter as much where the money is if anyone could have access to that information if they wanted to at a drop of a dime. I might have an account, but you might have the login to still to be able to see it. If for some reason you needed to or an emergency, right?
So she's saying, so Deontay reviews his wife is saying in a nutshell, it's the transparency that matters and it's not the account. So she says it's more about the transparency than the account. That's where Deontay reviews his wife is going right now. Deontay reviews his wife is saying transparency is more important than the account. Transparency is more important than the account. This is what she's saying. She's saying transparency more important than the account. Is this true? Do you rock with this?
Again, I'm struggling with some of the single things. Again, so I'm okay with the idea of separate accounts, but it depends on the perspective on the need for the separate accounts. It depends on the logic behind the separate accounts. For me, I like the idea of having a separate account because if I'm giving myself, a treat, or if I'm trying to surprise you, you're not going to see everything that I'm doing to create the surprise for you. However,
I like that. I do like that. That does make sense. It does make sense that if you're going to work a treat, we're gonna play always she's saying that I do like that. I like that.
there's complete transparency of our finances. We've aligned on our family's budget. We've aligned on how much I contribute. We've aligned on how much you contribute and how we manage the finances. There is complete transparency, though whatever I, continue to have exists in a separate account because I need to use it all the time. It just logistically kind of makes sense, right? I don't like that concept because it just creates more room for distrust and things like that. I think as long as you agree on what the commitments are for you both financially and you're transparent with your spouse about any money that comes into the house, any money that is going out of the house, then figure it out on your own terms. But that hide stuff,
All right, one more question before you go.
Yeah.
All right, so do you think couples should know how much their spouse makes on their job?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Because he been moving shady, so he don't be wanting her to know stuff.
Okay, so to that end, I think this is also bringing up a whole other set of things and questions for me. I don't follow the skits as much to know all the nuances, but it also sounds like maybe Anthony might want to have Amber, but Anthony's not ready to have Amber.
Lord. That's good.
It's giving maybe that he needs her more than she needs him, though she may not know that yet.
Ooh.
She may not know that yet.
I ain't never thought of that.
Anthony enjoys the benefits of Amber, but none of the responsibilities
Oh my God.
to Amber.
You smart. You so smart.
Again, I don't know. I'm struggling with him for sure. But none of this is given, I want you to be my partner in life. It's given, I want access, but I don't need all the red tape.
One more thing.
Yes.
You fine.
All right. So that's Deontay reviews his wife's comments on the whole idea of joint accounts. I made sure I played. David asked to play the entire thing. And I wanted to play it to get her response on it. I'm going to now tip the hat a little bit though. I'm going to trouble the hat. The truth is, this is the truth. I'm going to be very honest. Let me jump into this. Let me jump into this. The truth is, let me not be hypocritical. Let me not be hypocritical. My wife has an idea of how much I make, but she doesn't really know how much I make. Let me say that again. My wife has an idea of how much I make, but she doesn't really know how much I make. No. Does it mean that she's not going to be able to? I'm not going to pitch in at all times because generally it's me have to cover most of the things them. And I got to get a lot of things done. Now she makes well for herself as well. So it don't really matter as well. She also has her own separate accounts that she started before I came in. And I have my own separate accounts that you know what I mean? And I have my own separate accounts. Hold on, David. I'm going to put you on in just a little bit. And I have my own separate accounts. So I'm going to be very honest with that. I don't want to be dishonest. I don't want to think so, O'Neill, I'm going to be a hypocrite. So I have to make sure so I clear that up. But the joint account story is here for us all right now. Give me one moment, David. Let me put you on. Because David, I'll drop you on, David. No worries, sir. Let me drop you on, David. Hold on, David. Make sure, sir. Let me get us in here. The thing is this. The thing is, okay. No, I'm not hiding anything from her. That's a funny thing. But I have a belief that whatever she came in with, she's supposed to leave with. In other words, I don't want her money. Whatever monies are, whatever she's entitled to, whatever, for example, her family has stuff. Whatever things her family has given her, I don't want to have to take that away from her. I don't believe in that. Maybe that's why I'm like that. But the truth is, if she in a pickle, I'm going to step in. Even if she's not in a pickle, I'm going to try and see what's going on. I still view it as one. Even though it's my accounts, it still is one account. What that mean? That means if she runs into some debt thing, it's like it's my debt. It's almost like I have to now take that debt on some way, somehow. And that's what it is, because that's what my mind thinks anyways. It is a very deep conversation, Abby. May I bring you on? I'm going to bring on David. I'm going to bring on both of y'all. Give me a couple minutes. Because we wanted to have this conversation today.
It's not a big deal. It's just, honestly, it's a little bit embarrassing, but...
Lie the boy, I tell. Lie the boy, I tell.
My losses.
Boy, after everything we've been through.
Lie the boy, I tell.
You were dang near on the street. I do not care. But it's good for me to know what's going on as well, for us together. And you'll know what I'm bringing in, I know what you're bringing in. That's simple. A lot of married couples have joint accounts.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good. We can maybe go open up one this week. In the meantime, I am going to go get another piece of cake. Because it was good and this calls for a little celebration.
Yeah.
Do you want anything?
No, I'm good. I'm just gonna just lay here until you get back.
Okay, I'll be right back.
David, check the chat for me, please. Okay. I'm bringing David on. I'm bringing David on, friends. We're bringing David on. David, may I carry on right now? Right now, David. David, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it, David. Let's do it. They want to know, David. We're talking about the joint account. From a male perspective, David. Talk to me.
Well, as a married man, like you said, we have the joint account. But she have an allowance she put in her account, whatever money she want put in from her paycheck. And whatever money I make, because I have my own business in stock trading, I put a certain amount in my own account.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we put not just the bills money, but we all put money in there. And from there, we have a joint savings and everything. So everything joint except for whatever our allowance is. Whatever I choose, whether it be $50, $100, $500 a week. And she put in whatever she want to put in.
Now, David, I know that you're, okay. I know you're Jamaican, so I know you have different takes on this. And I think Jamaicans have a take on I think the take is that you don't really want to take away anybody's money. Jamaicans tend to not be like that. Now you might have one and two
Right.
Jamaican and scrupulous, but in general, we generally don't want to take a woman's money away. So, for example, she might come in
No.
with some money from her family, and this is kind of why I said what I said before. She might come in with some money from her family, and because I don't want to take that away, I feel like that's just her money, and everything that she coming, everything from the marriage coming forward, that's now we're going to look at as our money. Am I correct on that or no?
Well, not only is that correct, but like I said, if she get money from her family, it's up to her to do what she want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if she want to put it in the joint, she put it in the joint. She
Mm-hmm.
want to put it in her account, she put it in her account. So all in all, well, we have like 6 different accounts, but she have her own account, I have my own account,
Mm-hmm.
and we have several joint accounts: savings, bills, and just a spending account for vacations and stuff. So again, with that said, if she
Mm-hmm.
get money from her family, it's up to her. I'm not gonna tell her what to do with her money. If
Only
she
hear that
want to put less in the joint accounts, it's up to her.
she can do that. I hope that the ladies
Right.
are listening. Me I tell them, me I show them how Jamaican men roll.
Mhm.
Because sometimes I don't know when I deal. Let me tell you something. Sometimes I don't know how Jamaican men roll. They don't understand that we're a little bit different. We tend to respect people's, what you call it now, people's space. I've noticed here it's a little different sometimes that people, try to go in
Right
accounts
now.
and all of that. So I see that. What is your take on the reason why Anthony don't want the joint account?
Okay, now let's talk about Anthony as a
Let
separate entity.
talk to
You
me,
asked
talk to me.
about me.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony needs to open up everything. Anthony just came from a cheating aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Once you cheat, all the rules go out the window. So, for instance, I'm going to use
Mm-hmm.
my wife as an example. If she
Yes.
cheat, she don't have an account. She might still have her savings account, but I'm in there. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know where every dime is going. I want to know how much you spent on, your weird smile out there and all of that.
There
Trust
you
me.
go.
Now, my wife never cheated, so I have not been put in that position. But that's how I look at it from Amber's sake.
All
She
right.
has the right to know every single dime you making and
Mm-hmm.
where it's going. Because now you have a side chick out there. You telling me one thing, I need you now by actions to prove it. Oh, you spending $10,000 a month on her apartment? Why?
Mm-hmm. Good
Why?
question.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Your picnic, your picnic, your baby's your baby. But you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be paying for her room and board.
That makes sense.
Child support is child support.
Mm-hmm.
But once you cheat, and that's the part Anthony doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Once you cheat, all
Everything
that
changed.
separate account, all of that is
Mm-hmm.
out the window. I'm sorry.
It makes sense. It makes sense. That was kind of the feeling I had on it, which is why I started to talk like that. Because I know Vanswell up on the chat, and I'm probably gonna put Vanswell on one of these days. But Vanswell is one of those that feel no, and I think Vanswell is challenging for challenging sake. Let me get your take, David. Though on, I want to get your take on the kid, meaning that how you feel about the whole idea that Amber has kind of taken Anthony back and is now more miserable than ever. Would you rest in a situation like this? I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna let you answer for yourself. Go ahead.
That's a hard situation because if she really loved this man,
Mm-hmm.
she needs to create stipulations. And I said it before, there's certain rules. For one, you're not going over Shayla house to see your child. You can go over Shayla house and pick up your child, but
Mm-hmm.
you're not sitting there and playing with this child. That should have been out the door day one. You go, you pick up your child. She don't want your child here, go to the park.
Makes
Go
sense.
wherever you want to go. If you want to meet Shayla at the park, you can do that. But this whole going over Shayla house and going over to Angelina's house, that would have been out the door. But like I said, and like we've said, Amber don't have too much common sense. She do not act like a black woman. Because I'm sure most of the black women on here will tell you
Mm-hmm.
before they took their cheating husband back, they have all kinds of ground rules. You ain't out after 8 p.m. I know your phone passcode. There's a lot of stuff that goes with taking a cheating spouse back, period. And she set up no type of ground rules, nothing. So as far as I'm concerned,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's still in a position to cheat. Nothing has changed.
That's
Nothing has
exactly
changed.
what I
I don't
believe.
know what he's doing. Huh?
That's what I believe as well too. It makes him able to cheat just the same. So I agree with you
It's,
100%.
I don't know what you're doing over that hour, 2 hours, whether you playing with the child or you playing with Shayla. Come
Hmm.
on, man. There's no common sense, in my opinion, on Amber's part, unfortunately.
So it makes it. So I want the ladies to understand from a male perspective, David, because this is. I brought this channel on because I always wanted the ladies them to learn from us. You have a woman, and this is the case for the woman. I want you to talk from just being a male. The woman has done this with a whole kid. How would you have looked at this entire scenario? Let's just say it's you in your own male form, and it's not. We're not looking at it from a woman's perspective. Then that's what I mean.
That's a hard one to answer. My wife have a kid with somebody else. Yeah, nah, she ain't coming back. I'm sorry. There's no forgiveness. A whole
David,
picnic?
a whole pick me,
Let's
David.
no, let's dial it back a little.
Uh huh.
Suppose I catch her cheating. That I
Mm-hmm.
might be able to come from. A child? No, sir.
Can't come
Because
back.
now this man is in my life for the next 18. No, sir. And this little child got to come. And you know, children disrespectful. Worse is a boy. By the time he's
Oh,
14, 15, he got enough more. You not my dad. What?
I'm
Nah,
gonna tell you
I ain't even
everything.
put my, I ain't put myself in that situation at all.
David, I keep saying she's stronger than me. She's stronger than me because I could manage it, David. Would I have to cut it off? I would have to cut it off because there's no way I'm gonna sit down and watch you with the belly from its small until it get big. And I'm gonna have to be looking at that whole belly the entire time. You understand? And then you're dropping the kid, you're over the house for whatever it is. I just couldn't see it at all. But I said, you know what? Let me get another male to say it because them think sometimes the ladies them think we're being biased, David. So me try and
But
you know.
I
Mm-hmm,
mean, I know. But here's the thing. I know it does sound sexist, seriously. But women, women that have a baby daddy out there,
mm-hmm,
I want you to answer this question. Doesn't your baby daddy always act like you forever his? He could be with the next woman, you
mm-hmm,
could be with the next man, but when
mm-hmm.
he come over, I'm your baby daddy. I run things. You forever mine. That's an attitude men seem to take. Women can separate the two. I'm his baby mother, but he don't mean nothing to me. Once a man have a child with a woman, you mine. I don't care who you with. When I come around, you still my baby. You know what I'm saying?
That is
And
true.
it's
That
not
is
fair.
true.
It's not fair. I know it's sexist. It's not fair. I'm not saying it's fair. But
Mm-hmm.
that's the attitude us men take. And so for my wife to have a child with another man, mm-mm, no, sir.
It would be tough. It would be tough. I wanted it to come on, David, because I feel like more. I'm glad you came on, and I wanted to hear from Nani as well. But I feel like I wanted another male perspective on it, and I wanted to see if me too far left Jamaican, because sometimes I feel like I'm far left Jamaican. But David, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for coming on, David. I appreciate you. I totally appreciate you. So there you go. There you go. You guys got it from. I'm making sure them hear, David.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
I'm
My
making
phone
sure that
dropped
they
for a
know
minute. Sorry.
for sure. I wanted to make sure I bring you on, David, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't too far left. Cause I know as a Jamaican,
No, not
I
at
was
all.
I was grown there a certain way, and we know certain pieces, and maybe things change these days. But it
I
just
don't. But here's the thing. I don't even think it's a Jamaican thing. I think it's a man thing.
it's a
Seriously,
male
men
thing.
look at it. Whether they're American, Jamaican, men look at their baby mothers differently than women look at their baby daddies. A
Mm,
lot of women don't want to have nothing to do with their baby daddy.
it's
Give me
true.
my child support, see your child, and leave. When I
That's
go to
true.
pick up my child from my baby mother, I'm expecting dinner. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
That's right. Put my
it's a
foot up on them
different
thing.
aspect,
Yeah,
right?
I'm expecting that my
It's a
foot can
different
get put
aspect.
up. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take Mike for an example. When Mike said, "I don't want nobody run up in the Sonny,"
Uh
he ain't with Sonny. You feel me? But
huh. Exactly.
no, I'm serious. That's a perfect example. He not with Sonny. He not trying to be with Sonny.
Uh huh.
But ain't no man gonna be with Sonny while you holding my child. That's the way men are.
It's correct. It's correct. Even though he was the same one who was, pounding on Shayla baby head, while the baby was in womb.
Exactly. 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 That no, exactly. He didn't have no problem when it was him, but now that it's his baby,
Yeah,
you
you know
can't
what?
do it.
It doesn't want anybody messing on the baby, you know.
But
That's true.
Amber needs to. But my bottom line is Amber needs to set some ground rules. I said it in the text yesterday before everybody came on. When I cheated on my I know it was just a relationship, not a wife. When I cheated, she gave me not only verbal rules, she literally wrote down the rules, and this is what you're going to abide by.
Hmm.
Amber needs to do the same. You can't do one, two, three, four, and five. Go about your business. And that's that. You're going to respect me. And Anthony's back with no type of respect, no type of respect,
That's
no
what I say.
type of actions,
Hmm.
nothing. I can't help Amber if she can't help herself, including the dumb ish she said today. I said ish, but including the dumb ish she said today, where she said, I'm not going to the party because Shayla don't want me there. Huh? Shayla don't want you there. You should be the first one there. You should be camped out outside waiting to greet people. Hey, I'm the stepmother. Hello, I'm the stepmother. I would let
David, that's what I
everybody
said.
know.
That's what I said, David, and that's why I argued so much with even. I think I was going at it for a little bit with Angela Atkins, and I said, forget this classist thing that y'all are talking about. I'm not paying
Classy.
15 grand for a party and I'm not going. And no baby mother telling me exactly where I can and cannot go. It ain't no nothing. Ain't no nothing about it.
Whether
There's
she
no way.
paid, whether she paid or not, whether she
Yeah.
paid or not. Once her husband is going,
Then she's
I'm
supposed to
going.
go. There you go. That's what I think.
The money's not even the issue, to be
Hmm.
honest. When you walking out the door, we're walking out the door.
I like that.
Again, that whole Anthony and Sheila together alone thing should
Hmm.
be one of the rules. You're not going to be alone with this woman you cheated with.
I love that.
How does that even make sense?
I agree with it. I agree with it. Like, what's the what? I mean, it's that easy. And I was saying that to the ladies and David, but them feel like say O'Neal some of the times don't have him hand on a pulse. And I said, ladies, it is tough when you get around a lady that you've already messed with, that you guys have some amount of history. It ain't easy for you just to forget it all the time.
Exactly. Even the skit where she was bending over
Hmm.
and asking him, "Oh, do you want to hit it to give me the money?" No,
That's what you were saying. That's
them
exactly what you were saying.
right. There's no kind of temptation, none of that. No,
It's too
no, and
easy.
calling me names and all kinds of things. Anthony's a weak man. Amber has to be the strong person. With her being weak, Anthony being weak, they're gonna go broke.
That's what I see. That's what I see because some way, somehow, Shayla and her mother are going to consistently use that against them. You know what I mean? At all times.
Exactly.
Know that I have you on as well, David. I want to ask you: is there a because I feel like this is there, and I was saying it in one of the broadcasts, and I said that there is a deadbeat daddy tag on black men. Do you think that that is an accurate statement, or you think I'm off? Talk to me on that.
I mean, there is, but it's documented if it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, too many black men have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a stereotype, like, fried chicken, where a lot of us do eat fried chicken. There are a lot of deadbeat dads.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that stereotype,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy for a woman to put that on a man. Like, for instance, now let's take Sheila out, because Sheila's talking nonsense and she knows she's talking
Mm-hmm.
nonsense. But women will do that to badmouth their baby daddy for
I
whatever
know
reason.
that. Mm-hmm.
Period. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, they get the money, but oh, he doesn't come to see his child. He
Mm-hmm.
comes to see his child every week. Oh, he don't give me enough money. Oh, he don't pay for nothing. Maybe he's not working and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, women use that label to disparage a man, but a lot of times, some of the times, there's no truth to it. Unfortunately, a lot of times there is truth to it.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of deadbeat daddies. And it's not even a color thing, to be honest. It's more talked about in the black community because we're always looked down upon. But white men do it just the same, honestly.
That's what I was about to say now, David. Because the thing is, when I came to the States, and maybe this is exactly why I say some of the things that I say. When I came to the States, I had more a bigger exposure to the white populace, and I saw that they still had some of these issues that we have in the black community. But the thing is, it just wasn't publicized. You didn't hear about it at all. So they had fathers who never existed, or the father never did it, and whatever else it is. But it just wasn't publicized, and so you never ever you still never got the feel. The father would come around, and you wouldn't get much pushback about it. But what I've
Right.
noticed is that when I go around, like say for example, or black folk, then the deadbeat daddy tag is just pushed a little bit more, and that's why I said what I said in terms of the whole idea of what Shayla is trying to do, because I know what it
Right.
is. It's almost like it's one of those things that I think black men get. But I like your take on it. I mean, I like your take that
Right.
you're giving on it. I just give you why my mind went there, because I saw it before, and I'm like, here it really and truly comes, because the truth is, black men from the dawn of time has been trying to overcome the deadbeat daddy tag. Whenever they talk about a deadbeat dad, even if you look in movies, when you watch
Right.
movies, you notice that when they talk about your father wasn't there, it's always a black man they're talking about. You rarely
For
see
the,
a. Go ahead.
well, but it depends also on what kind of movies you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is us in the black community, we watch certain things. We grow up in certain places, so this is what we see. And the reason why I say that at the end of the day is I come from Brooklyn, I seen black deadbeats.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to Baltimore, black deadbeats. I moved to Florida, I'm now in a white community. Now I see the white deadbeats. So
Mm.
my whole life, I've never seen this until I moved to Florida the other day. And
I
I'm
see.
amongst the white people. So now all of the stuff I've never been exposed to, I'm now seeing.
Gotcha.
I mean, most of the shows we watch, Boys in the Hood, this, that, as black people, you don't see because,
Mm-hmm.
and even some of the white movies that we do watch, believe it or not, the white movies don't play the down black people the way we make it seem. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
you will
Mm-hmm.
see it, but you do see it if you start to really watch white movies on Lifetime and those channels. You
Mm-hmm.
will see the same thing. Believe it or not, white men that walked away from their family, white men that cheated. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
cheating was always a black thing. Black men cheat, black men cheat until you really start to open your eyes and you see, white men cheat worse and a lot more than black men. I know for a fact.
Yes.
And white men even more blatant. A white man will bring his side piece to the house and have his wife cook dinner for the two of them. I mean, honestly.
That's what I'm
But
saying,
if you're
David.
not open to this, if you're not
Uh-huh.
seeing this, it's not part of your culture, your community, you don't never see this. And that's the problem. We have to
Mm-hmm.
expand and defend ourselves.
I like that, David. I like that you use just now with the expanding. And as I say now, that's why O'Neill has a different take when he comes here. Because as I said before, when I came by being around just mainly whites and like and Latinx and Asians. So that was all that I was exposed to. So I was able to kind of see it from early. I'm like, wait, hold on, this. So how come they say, but this is the same thing here, so you kind of get a feel of that. You know what I mean? So it's funny that you've seen the other way around, where you've seen more of the black populace, and then now is seeing the white populace. So it's almost like we have like a contrasting view of it as to how we
Exactly.
experience it, which is interesting, very very interesting. I love it. I mean, white men do cheat though, and when them cheat differently. They will.
Hmm.
You are correct. They will bring the side piece round, and them and the side piece and the wife will be enjoying dinner.
Hmm.
They will be enjoying dinner. They'll be eating, doing all sorts of things, cooking up a storm. And I don't know how them do it, but they just work it this way, and some way, somehow it works that way. So it's not like
Hmm.
but again, they make it seem as though black men are these, are the only mischievous men running out there. You know what I mean? And we're the only
Right.
guys doing whatever it is. I don't get me wrong, David. I do know you do have, black men who need a flogging. You understand? Yeah, black men who need a flogging for whatever else it is. It's just that I feel like the what you call it, the correction is disproportionately or disproportionately affects blacks than it does anyone else. In other words, the other people barely get it. Right now, you have, I think, Andrew Tate online, who probably is one of those persons who is kind of, flagging some of the behaviors, but that's about it. That's really actually about it, to be very fair with you. That's about it. Somebody said there's just deadbeats across the road. Black men don't cheat. Who said that? Bonswell? Bonswell always saying some weird stuff.
I,
David, how
I
long have you how
honestly
long have you
believe.
been go ahead?
No, I was gonna say I honestly believe from what I see in today's days and time, black men actually cheat a lot less than they used to.
That's what I'm saying. That is actually true. As a matter of fact, there is a survey that your kid gets more love. If your kid is born into a black dad, he actually gets more love than with any other man. Did you know there's a survey on that?
Yeah, no, in the last 30 years we've come up education wise, family wise, and so forth. I mean, when I went to school,
Mm-hmm.
we looked at being either an athlete or a teacher or something like that. These kids are graduating as engineers and, all
Mm-hmm.
sorts of things and making money and taking care of their families. So
Mm-hmm.
times have changed. And I think from what I see, black men seem to be a lot more loyal today than in the 80s when they used to run up and down and carry on. That's just my opinion. The women may feel differently because they're dealing with it, but that's what I see.
You're saying black men aren't cheating as much like before? Is that what you're saying?
That's how I believe, yes. I think they're more family oriented, family goals, and so forth, as opposed to there was a time a black man, once he got a woman pregnant, he was gone.
He was gone. Let me ask that to the chat, David. Are black hold on, David. David, your sound is coming on. Give me one moment. Cheating less than before. David, talk again. Let me make sure I can hear you.
Hello? Can you hear
There you
me?
go. There you go. We can hear you better now. I can hear you better
Okay.
now. I've put your question up, David, because the woman them sometimes I keep seeing a lot of different things online, and I've been telling
Wow.
ladies this that black men have become way more faithful and way better partners than women are making us out to be. I like that you're raising this, David. I'm liking that you're because you have more sample size of data than I do. And
Hmm.
I feel like you're right in terms of what you're saying in black men. I feel like black men have become better fathers. This is a take I have on it. Because when you're growing up, you never have your father. So because you never have your father, your take is, you know what? I need to be the best father I can possibly be. And I think that's
No,
why you have black men who are better fathers today than before.
I
Am
agree.
I, am I right on that? Give me a take on that, David.
No, I said I agree. I believe so.
That's what I think it is. And I think that is just, at this point, it really is just stigma that's going on. Really, what's happening is just really stigma. People just really pouring a stigma on black men. That's why I said, that's what I've been saying, Because when I see some of my black friends, I'm not having kids like before. Because when they've looked at the numbers, is about 25% of black men that have majority of the kids. That's the data. In other words, most black men are actually childless. So the deadbeat narrative don't really make no sense if it's a small percentage of black men that are actually that. But I mean I give you exactly why. Why exactly I say what I said.
I'm about to go. Wife is calling me, but you had a question for me before. You were
What
gonna
was my
ask me something.
I think I asked you the question already. No, I did ask you the question already because I asked a question in the chat as well too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not in the chat, but okay.
No worries. I asked no
All right. Well, it
the
was a
question you
pleasure.
had. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What you saying?
I was saying you had a question, so I asked your question in the chat to the people in the chat because I wanted to make sure they answered the question. So that's what was going
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it was a pleasure being on. I hope to do this again. You have a good evening. I'll still be in the chat, but the wife want me coming to eat,
on.
so
No problem. You go
I'll
right
be
in,
chatting.
David. Thank you very much for coming on. I needed the perspective. I walk with David. All right.
No problem. All
All
right.
right,
Take
cool.
care. Later.
All right, friends. So that is David. David just came on, and there you go. I mean, hey, when I saw no one put on David, I'm going to put on David right now. You understand? David just came on. Let me get myself sorted out. Let's see if I can get my seeds back. Let's see if I can get my seeds back. Give me one moment, guys. On a hear from David. David tell y'all what time it is. Y'all don't know what time it is. You can't make no mistake. So let's do this. This was a pleasure. This was a pleasure. I'm glad that David came on and put this to bed. So the joint account. So now we know about the joint account. So everybody's saying, thank you very much, David, for coming on. Everybody's saying that when it comes to the joint account, it's the transparency. That's the problem. The transparency. We talk about the topic of where Anthony went to when he was talking to Coco. It's transparency. Everybody's saying that they don't mind the joint accounts. If I understand y'all correctly, y'all don't mind the joint accounts. Y'all just want transparency. Vanswell, somebody said me need to put on Vanswell. Vanswell, come. Come, Vanswell. Let me put you on because you've been debating. Vanswell, hold on. Let me. Angela Paul, welcome to the chat. I'm sorry I didn't greet you. Angela Paul, welcome to the chat. Where is Vanswell? Vanswell, come on, please. Come on, Vanswell. Come on. We don't want you to stay behind the camera. Vanswell, please. Somebody call Vanswell. I'm not blocking Vanswell. More Vanswell, come on. Well, you don't have to get on camera, Vanswell, but we want to hear your voice. Are you willing to come on to tell us what you know? So Vanswell, now come on. Vanswell, are you coming on, yes or no? No thanks. Vanswell just wants to mess around. So the truth is Vanswell just wants to mess around. Vanswell is talking. That's all it is. Okay, so the deal is this. Where we're at is people is saying them don't mind the joint account. What they mind is the transparency. Vanswell not coming on, guys. Him now come on. It's the transparency. That's what people are talking about.
I think she really just wants to get a good look at my financials so she can determine whether or not she wants to divorce me or not. No, I'm serious. Oh, what you laughing for?
Anthony.
No.
If that ain't the pot calling the kettle black. Okay, first of all, seriously, you think Amber would go that deep into a situation to do all this calculating, plotting? No, that's your MO, sweetheart.
All right, so Anthony said Vanswell run, guys. Vanswell run. Vanswell has chickened out, guys. Vanswell has chickened out. Vanswell has chickened out, guys. Somehow Vanswell chicken out. It's fine. Vanswell don't want to come on, and that's okay. I understand. It's tough to get on camera and talk. David did it. Thank you very much, David. Okay, so Anthony said the reason why Amber wants a joint account is so that she can divorce him. So let's go in. You're not a speaker. All right. Is Amber does Amber want a joint? You know what? Let me bring Abby on. Hold on, Abby. I'm gonna take you on in just a little bit, Abby. Abby, I'm gonna put you on a little bit. Abby, I'm gonna put you on because I know you always come on and you always give them some takes now, Abby. So let me put you on. If you're not ready, guys, it's all good. Abby, get on camera for me, please. I think I have a spot for you to get on camera, Abby. Does Amber want a joint account to divorce Anthony? So what Anthony is saying is that, Abby, there you go. Abby, look at the link, Abby. I've created a link for you. For some reason, it gave me issues. Abby, check the link. For some reason, there we go. There we go. There we go. Abby, come up.
Hi.
There you
Hi,
go.
guys.
How are you, Abby? How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Before I even get into the video itself, Abby, let me make sure because I have you on, and David just came on and gave us the male perspective. So now it's time for you to represent. The weight is on your shoulders. You understand? Because
Okay.
now you're going to
Okay.
give now the representation of the women. So give us about this joint account. Joint account.
To be
Mm-hmm.
honest, I don't agree with the joint account too much. However,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying two people can't have a joint account. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying I personally don't agree with the joint account in this scenario because I feel like, well, I shouldn't say I don't agree with it. I should say that if it was me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I, of course, not have no joint account with nobody unless we decide, hey, since we either we get married or we in a really committed relationship or whatever it is, we decide to have a joint account where we both put in a certain amount of money when the month comes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we make an agreement and we say we put in, if it's $5,000
Mm-hmm.
into the account every month, and whether it paying our bills, it, like, let's say we doing other extracurricular activities,
Mm-hmm.
we pool in together and doing stuff. However, me personally, I feel like with how deceitful people are,
Mm-hmm.
I would not say that it is a wise thing to trust somebody wholeheartedly like that.
So you
That's
don't
just
you
from what
so you don't believe. I don't mean to cut you out, but I want to ask you. So you don't believe there's any trustworthy guy out there who is not going to try to take anything from you.
I wouldn't say that. However,
Go ahead.
as I told you guys before, I always ask myself 5 questions before I make a decision. And
Mm-hmm.
if 5 of them the answer is not yes, the answer is no. If 5 of them don't line up, the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I personally, if I'm in a situation where I'm in a committed relationship or marriage or whatever it is, I believe we can have a joint account. However, it's not particularly saying that is the only account we have. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that's realistic. It I don't think it might make sense on the long haul. And I say that because of looking at other people's experience. For example, there was this lady when I was working before, her and her husband had a joint account. He was a really good man,
Mm-hmm.
according to her. And after years, she found out he had a whole nother family who he was paying for. He
Mm-hmm.
was taking care, and the money that they were both putting into their joint account, he alone was managing the joint account. And she realized she had no money. And she was retired. She was about to retire. And
Mm-hmm.
she ended up with no money. That I know that's one situation, and it's not every man is going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But putting it out on that trust to say, well, this man is a good man, you never know what somebody could do. So my opinion is that when two people decide to come together, even if they decide to have a joint account,
Mm-hmm.
it should not be all of their money going into that joint account.
Okay.
It should be that they sit down and have an agreement and they talk about it. And if I love you and I trust you, I should be able to say, well, baby, hear this now. I am I'm making this amount of money when the month comes, and let's say I'm making more money than you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could say, well, even though I'm making more money, or even the situation is whatever it is, I want to put, and I put, let's say I put 10,000
Mm-hmm.
because I could afford it. Let's say you could only put 3,000. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not looking at that as I pay more than you. I'm looking at that as our money.
Okay.
That's the pool of money that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say that it depends on the people. But in this scenario where Anthony and Amber is concerned, Anthony is dealing with his marriage like he's a single man. He's not literally dealing it. So that's why the idea don't make sense to me because he doesn't really operate like a businessman who is successful. 1 minute he's operating like that, but then he's doing anything. He does things without thinking. This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion for what I've seen, right? It just doesn't come across as something realistic to me. No,
Mm-hmm.
as the storyline going developing, it's becoming more and more unrealistic because a true businessman would not depend on would not have depend on Angelina to go and get no DNA test. He would have done it himself.
Mm-hmm.
He would have probably hired a private investigator to make sure all of this thing is legit, especially knowing that Shayla cheated on Abby. Shayla also cheated on Mike. You're seeing the character of the woman. You don't, once a person shows you their character and you're in business, you will start to look at that person sideways. That's why, for example, you see how Wayne looks at Anthony from a sideways perspective because he knows he's a cheater. If a man is a cheater to his wife, somebody he lays down with and loves, you could imagine what he could do you in business. He could shaft you any minute.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
So that's
So
why
go
that's
ahead.
why I am not saying if Anthony didn't come and tell Amber and Shayla, hey, I love the both of you guys and I want to be with both of you guys, and three of them decide to be in a relationship together or whatever it is, that's their business, right? Everybody's allowed to choose whatever they believe for them and whatever makes them happy. However, the way Anthony went about it, I know Vons were a little bit upset that Anthony only cheated because Amber cheated, but Anthony didn't find out Amber cheated until after the fact. He was already cheating,
He was already
right?
cheating.
He was already cheating when he found out about Amber and Wayne. He had already started cheating on Amber with Shayla.
It does make
And
sense.
remember it was a manipulative tactic that Shayla used, saying, well, because Anthony was trying to break it off. Because remember, he had shown up on a date. I think Amber and Anthony went on a date in a museum or amusement park or something. I can't remember what it was. Or a water park or something. And Shayla turned up there. All of these things were her manipulation tactics. However, my thing is that Shayla would have manipulated Anthony so much that Anthony allowed Shayla to continue to get away with it. And he has not put himself in a space where a true businessman who wants to succeed will put themselves in. So to be honest, the storyline started to get a little whack for
Storyline
me.
get weird. I have hold on, Abby, because David has put something in there. David said he disagreed because men are lazy, and I think I want to challenge you on this.
About men
Yes,
are
meaning men in general. Like sometimes us men are lazy. We're, in other words, we will. It will take us a while to do a DNA test. Why?
okay.
Because like some of the times maybe we just can't believe. Maybe we can't bother. That's the idea. Maybe
I I I can understand.
because it's like some of the times men is like, all right, it's like once him getting the pum pum, everything good. I don't know how some men operate like this. Once him getting the pum pum, it's good. It's no, it's like I'm not going to be sitting down trying to think this, and I'm thinking that as long as I can get access where I need to get access, then everything else doesn't really matter because I'm making some money. And I that's why I'm saying, let me challenge you with that. Have you ever seen men where, in your mind, you're like, wait, how, in other words, operating like Anthony? Have you ever seen men operating like Anthony, somewhat like Anthony before?
Yes, my brother does that all the time.
You see? So that is what David was meaning when David was saying the truth is that men really are lazy. So some of the times they will take a while to find things out. Now, you and I are watching the thing, hindsight and saying, hey, what we would do. But you really do have men who really are out there, are very nonchalant, which is exactly why, the jacket rate in Jamaica is very high. Like the place you could get a jacket, the quickest is Jamaica. If you flip a coin, heads is your baby and tails is not yours. So the odds
But
are not great. The odds
to
are
be
great. Go
honest
ahead.
with you, O'Neill, I believe all people around the world, from the time somebody gets pregnant, I believe they're supposed to have a DNA test. Me personally,
I like
I
that.
genuinely believe that. I believe it should not be mandatory. I believe that whether is the person married or not, they should do a DNA test. And I know it's expensive, but they should do a DNA test in the hospital right away so we could save a lot of time. And if they do it like that, things will become a little more effective. But we all know most countries are not run based on efficiency.
That is true. That
It,
is
it,
true.
it, it is what it is. But in my opinion, it have so many times where it have people who depend on the government to help them take care of their kids because they don't know who the child father is. In a moment where they do that up front, the government will have to step in. So now you make the man step in from early, right?
True.
And that will also make people become a little more, I want to say serious, but it will make people make better choices when choosing a spouse.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I got another question for you. I have another question for you.
Yes.
My next question for you um, is the question toward the cheating. Anthony mentioned something about the cheating. Like he was saying, hey, both of them cheated. He used that. Where you agree with that, or you feel like one is more than the other? Meaning, like the way the cheating that Anthony's done. This is my take on it. Anthony's cheating to me is more because, and I'm gonna give you why. It's still cheating, but the mere fact that there is a child in the picture, it tips the scale for me. But let me hear your take on
So me personally,
it.
um, I do not believe a person owns a person. People
Mm-hmm.
don't own people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people are allowed to make choices. However, Anthony's choice is one thing to cheat. It's
Mm-hmm.
another thing to cheat and have a child.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that in a situation, from my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
is that it would have been easier for me to say, okay, Amber could take back Anthony if Anthony at least was protecting himself and protecting her. That is just how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe cheating is cheating, and both of them were very wrong.
Okay.
However, it's a little, it's a little more ticklish the fact that Anthony now has a baby, and Amber, and it's not to say like it's a baby with a random person who Amber does not know. It's somebody that she trusted wholeheartedly with information that I personally wouldn't be sharing people, but with all the information that she would have shared with Shayla, it
Mm-hmm.
makes situation bad. That's why I still, my mind cannot wrap around but taking back Anthony right as it is. Anthony didn't learn anything. He came back and they're still in the same scenario. To me, Amber was glowing a lot more before she took him back, and now to me, she's
Mm-hmm.
starting to look stressed out. Every time I see Amber, she's looking stressed, and she asking questions, and all these questions and questions. It's too so time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Anthony is not at a place where
Mm-hmm.
he genuinely honest. You see, if let's say you and I together and we rolling,
Mm-hmm.
and we sit down and we say, hey, this is what is going on. Like I realize that I struggling in this department. For
Mm-hmm.
example, let's say I'm a teacher and I'm
Mm-hmm.
struggling. And we could sit down and be like, hey, this is where I'm struggling. However, these are the parts where I have better. Let's try to figure out how we could overcome this together.
Mm-hmm.
They're not having these grown conversation. They're having these foolish conversation. Hey, you went over at Shayla house yesterday, and it going back and forth, and it's not with a resolve. Anthony is weak. He is a weaker man, but he doesn't seem to be also trying to do better
Mm-hmm.
so that he shows up better in his marriage. Because you see what
Agree with that.
Coco said about him, how he is the kind of person who connives and comes up with plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's projecting that energy onto Amber.
Mm-hmm.
He's
I agree.
projecting to say that's what Amber is probably doing because he knows the kind of sneakiness he involves himself with.
I
And this
agree.
is why I always believe when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
That's true.
We're not going. There are so many things that people like hurt and pain people go through that they don't even need to go through if they
Mm-hmm.
actually sit down. And instead of Amber asking 1,000 questions to Anthony, start asking these questions to herself and God. Hey, could I really deal with Anthony showing up at Shayla house every Monday morning and paying all her bills? No, I
Makes sense.
cannot deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, could I really deal with when Anthony leaves? Am I worried about if Anthony is in Shayla's?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I can't deal with that. These are the questions Amber had not sat with herself and thought about. She
Makes
was
sense.
just thinking about her victory that actually is not a victory at all, in my
I say that.
opinion,
I say that as
because
well too. Mm-hmm.
Anthony is not a prize. I mean, I'm not saying that men are not prizes. I believe men and women are both the prize.
Mm-hmm.
You bring your best self, I bring my best self, we create something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that Amber's situation, and I've seen so many women do the same thing Amber is doing. I know we're saying Amber foolish, but there are so many women, whether black, white,
That's
Chinese,
why.
Indian, Syrian,
Uh-huh.
they all doing the same thing because it's like we have this mindset, and I think it goes both ways. That you have this mindset of, if I leave this person, would I get somebody better, or would I? And I think it starts with us not knowing that we deserve love. So I think a lot of times that people think that
Mm-hmm.
something when something is actually good, like genuinely good,
Mm-hmm.
they tend to self sabotage because they feel like it's not, they don't deserve it, especially if they grew up in a toxic household. And this is what I notice. Sometimes people
Mm-hmm.
in a space where their partner actually showing up as a really good partner, and because they don't see themselves as somebody who deserve it, they
Mm-hmm.
sabotage that.
Makes
I
sense.
don't see that with Anthony. Anthony is not like, yes, Anthony have done good things for Amber, but Anthony also love bombs Amber a lot. Where it comes to the real nitty gritty of the relationship and
Mm-hmm.
genuinely pouring into her with that loving aspect of him, he don't have that.
You don't think he does
He
that?
he don't have that. And sleeping with somebody is not, that's not
It's nothing at all. So you
it.
just say all him do is just taking the pum pum. I have something for you, Abby. Abby, may have something for you. So in other words, because this was my question, and maybe I'm wrong. I kept asking about the trips, and people say, "Only just leave the trips alone." You know what I mean? You heard me ranting about the trips. I'm gonna say, I think that a woman would want to go if you were, let's say you're in a Amber's place, and you've seen Shayla going on all of these trips, she's doing all of these things. You know what I mean? And I know you're not supposed to be social media watching, but good God, you've seen it. At this one time, you've now seen it. Somewhere, somehow, you've seen it. Wouldn't you not want to be going on at least some fancy restaurant trip or some whatever it is are being treated special? I'm asking that from a woman perspective. Give me an answer.
So first and foremost, I probably would not have seen, because I'm not creating no fake profile to be following nobody. I have no time for that. If I have to be doing that, that person got to go. That means
Uh-huh.
that person is not the person for me. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
see it. That's one. Two, I feel like Amber and Anthony genuinely have not spent time loving each other. Genuinely. So I believe that yes, they are supposed to be going on trips.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if they spend time actually loving each other, talking to each other, yes, this situation with Sheila is bad. However, they could make it into a good situation if they actually use it as a testimony to grow. But that's not what happening right now, because Anthony's not doing that. And I would say Amber is not doing that as well, because Amber seems to be 1 minute smart and then next minute she's foolish in the same breath.
Is
So
she
I
playing? Is she playing? Is she? Let me ask you, Abby, because Charmaine
Mhm.
said maybe Amber is just smart, but she's playing dumb. Do you think that's what's going on? I don't believe so. I've given up. I've given up on
no,
that. Amber is weak smart.
no,
Go ahead and talk to me.
I don't agree. I don't believe that. I believe Amber genuinely is a smart person. But I also believe there's one person who does get you to forget your smarts. I believe I believe that Amber's still broken on the inside, to be honest with you. I believe
Mm-hmm.
she's still broken. And even though she's a very gorgeous woman, I believe that Amber Amber's confidence in herself has put her in a space where she allows the broken part of her to make decisions,
Mm, that's rich.
because
That's
she's not
rich.
she looking at it from a place of scarcity. She looking at it as a place of, oh my god, it was so cool when she was in front of the door and she put her hand on her hips and told Sheila, I could get another Anthony and all this foolishness. But when it comes down to the real scenario, Amber doesn't genuinely believe
She can get
she
another
can
Anthony.
get the love that God has for her.
Mm, I like that.
Because the love that God has for you, yes, it's going to have
Mm-hmm.
some problems, because nothing in this world is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
However, this kind of thing what Anthony's bringing here is very toxic. It
Mm-hmm.
has so much chaos that she is not allowed to have peace in her. Since these people started dating, there is no peace in their relationship. There is no peace in their marriage. And yes, I believe that when you choose a spouse
Mm-hmm.
and God blesses it. I believe that with all my soul. But I also believe that sometimes God has been trying to say, yo, this is not what I have to for you. Wait on me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just wait on me. I got something better, but I need you to wait and trust. And we tend to put so much of the red flags, we kind of brush it off. That when it becomes the monster, we start to blame ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then because we in too deep already, it's like you don't know what to do. You're afraid to go back on the decision because you don't want to look bad for other people. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe Amber still has that fear. I believe Amber also still has that brokenness. So that's why I agree that she needs to get counseling by herself.
Mm-hmm.
She also needs to remember that not because a person cheats on you means that you were not enough as a person. Or not because your spouse left you and went with somebody else means that you wasn't enough. And I feel like Amber does be trying so hard to prove herself
Mm-hmm.
and to win, as she just call it, Shayla winning. She don't want Shayla to win.
Mm-hmm.
That she tend to notice that she's no longer happy.
Mm-hmm.
Amber is no longer happy. She's having moments of happiness, but it's not genuine happiness because she's no longer happy. Now she's in a space of confusion. So even though I understand what you're saying about the trips, I believe if they go on the trips, it has to be trips with purpose.
Well, that's what
I
I
believe
meant. That's what I
I
meant when
believe
I
it
talked
has
about the
to be
trips.
trips. It has to genuinely be
Mm-hmm.
trips with purpose and not just going on trips because you saw Shayla did it, but because it's time for us to really sit with the real issues
Mm-hmm.
and now we figure out how do we hold each other's hand
Mm-hmm.
and walk this route together. I'm not saying Amber shouldn't forgive Anthony and take it back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that right as it stands right now, Amber and Anthony should not be together until they both actually put work in on who they are
Mm-hmm.
as an individual showing up in this relationship. So me personally, I still find Amber needs to divorce Anthony. And if they have to get back together and they do
Then
it the
so be
right
it.
way the next time, so be it. But let it be that it's from a place of love and not from a place of scarcity, not from a
My
place
God.
of desperation, not from a place of you're thinking you're winning something that you're not
Mm-hmm.
really winning. Because Amber hasn't won. She hasn't won anything.
I agree. I agree
The
that she
only
hasn't won.
person winning is Anthony. Anthony seems to be the only person winning right now.
Not even
And
Sheila winning.
it's crazy because he also winning with Wayne and Rolanda.
Mm-hmm.
And he just, to me, it seems like Anthony's facing no karma. And that's why I find it kind of unrealistic because it's almost like if they're trying to show us the show in real time and not in, even though it's a skit, we still want it to be with some pace where you're seeing a result so that people like you and me who watching the skits, we could learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
We can actually see situations and we assess it in our own lives so
Mm-hmm.
that we can make better choices.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if these two people genuinely with their whole soul want to make their relationship work, they have to both sit with the truth.
Between both of
Yes,
them.
they cheated. Yes, Kai is there. Yes, Auntie did some foul things. But the reason why we are going forward is because we genuinely believe we want to be together. Not because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Sheila to win. Not because I don't want I don't want people to look at me bad. Not because of those things, but because you genuinely love the person. And I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
feel like these two people genuinely love each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I
So
feel
I
like
was
that.
about to ask you that point blank, Abby, point blank. Do you feel that they actually match? Because my take at this point is that Amber and Anthony just don't match. This is my take at this point in time. I don't believe they match. I think that they are unequally yoked. I don't think that they are made for each other at all. Because Amber has a level of is a calm spirit, a very trusting spirit. Anthony is distrusting. It don't feel like they actually match. People used to say that, unlike forces, attract and all sorts of different things. But in this case, I don't feel like it goes. I don't feel like they go together at all. Give me a take, point blank. Where are you with it, point blank? If you have to make
To
a
be
call.
honest, I believe that we could look at it two ways. And the reason why I say that is because even though they don't match, they both show up in their strength, and that helps the other person if they genuinely want to be together. However, at the same time, they actually not equally yoked at all. And you are correct. Amber has a more trusting spirit, and Anthony has a, I don't know. I just see Anthony as a villain. I don't know. I just see him as a villain, and because his character is very villainistic, he always doing something that, to me, it makes him look really bad. Or to me, every week Anthony doing something to have me sit down and be like, what was Anthony thinking in this moment, right? So I genuinely believe that even if two people
Mm-hmm.
are not genuinely very similar in their demeanor, their
Mm-hmm.
relationship can still work if they both realize that my strength and your strengths are different. So, how I show up, you might need that. For example, let's say I'm a trusting person and you're very distrusting. I show up with my trusting and I help you grow in that aspect. And you show up in your, let's say you are more hands on. You show up in your hands on behavior and you teach me, and that's how we grow and become powerful as a unit. That is an aspect. But the other aspect is that they
Mm-hmm.
really mismatch, and they are not both willing to sit with that and sit and talk about the things that actually matter. How do we grow through this?
I got something for you, Abby. When I watch this marriage, this is what I'm getting from the marriage. What I'm getting from the marriage is how much we force relationships. And I feel like the relationship feels very forced. So Anthony has to
Yes.
force to be with Amber, and Amber has to force to be with Anthony. And I find that I think is one of those things that happens regularly in life as well too. We force a lot of relationships. Like I feel like a relationship is supposed to be easy. I'm supposed to easily be able to trust you, easily be able to move around you. And I feel like that's why I said I just don't think it works at all. And I think that's what they're trying to show us. That a lot of times we force these relationships. We're trying to force to work, and you know what, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try to see if I can compromise this way. And don't get me wrong, I understand the compromise thing. But when you start over compromising, I feel like it goes to naught because now you're no longer being yourself. You're starting to be someone else rather than yourself because you're compromising so much. It means that you're just changing yourself so much than anything else. Give me your
Yeah,
take on that.
I agree as well. And to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of relationships,
Mm-hmm.
people do force their relationships, and they force themselves to be in spaces they probably have outgrown.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, right?
That's okay. We know you're moving around.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah. Sometimes people do force themselves to be in spaces where they have probably outgrown. But to me, Amber
Mm-hmm.
and Amber and Anthony wasn't supposed to be together at all. From what I've seen in the skits, because I've been watching the skits a while,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, like it's from since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It from since the beginning, it was problems after problems after problems after problems. So um, I feel like their relationship is forced. So that's why I don't genuinely agree that these two people actually in love. And I was reading today, and it said I was reading something from the Bible, and it said love covers a multitude of sins,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't genuinely believe these two people are in love.
You don't
They
think they're
probably
in
care
love.
about each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? They probably care about each other. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that they are genuinely in love where they could cover the multitude of sins. And that's why I believe that the best thing for them to do right now might be to genuinely separate. And if they decide to go be together sometime in the future, then okay. But as it stands right in this moment, I genuinely think it's time for them to get a divorce.
Them need a divorce. How much percent you want Amber to take if she divorce right now, Abby? Give me a number.
Um, Me personally, I would say if she is liable to get 50%, 50%, if
She's
that is
liable to
what,
get 70%. Based on what the previous lawyer said, based on what has occurred, she can get up to 70% because Georgia has certain laws that it's not necessarily 50-50. It's more of equity. So the judge can decide that, you know what, it because it's this egregious, the act that this man has committed, I can go up to 80%. Would you take 80% from a man, Abby? Tell me, you're in Amber's shoes, he has done this.
no,
Would you take
no,
80%?
no, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't do that. That's not my personality. That's not my
Why
personality. I
not? Why
personally
not?
wouldn't do that within myself. However, because I feel like Anthony, the only how Anthony would learn is if he genuinely go through some dread karma. I believe she should take the 75% from Anthony.
She needed
But I
75.
she should fight for that 75. Just because I want to see Anthony reach to, because remember when Amber and Anthony had gotten together for a while, remember he went broke and then she helped him and he built back himself and all these things, right? I genuinely believe that Amber, in this case, the only how Anthony will actually learn is if he lost everything.
So you think that he'll remain the same if she only takes 50? If she goes through and she only get, which him don't want right now because he has already stated when she was saying, hey, go back over to Shayla, him already and
Mhm.
said just give me 50% and that's it. He doesn't want to lose the 50. But you're saying not even the 50 is enough. You think that if he loses 50, he still won't learn. Is that what you're saying?
He still won't learn.
So you need a
He
big
needs to
number.
it needs to hit him so hard that it almost takes him a while to recover from it. That's the only how Anthony personally will learn. Me personally, I don't believe people should be taking people money. I don't like that at all, and that's why, um, to be honest with you, I dated somebody who I know the person was when I had started my business years ago. The argument that caused started our breakup was the person wanted me to put them as half owner of the business. And I was like, wait, what? We are not married. Why would I do that?
That makes
You
sense.
know, that's wild. And to see where my business has grown to now, I know that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy for me to do, right? Um, but I don't believe in taking people money. I don't like that. And I don't care whether it's the man making the money or the woman. It don't matter. I believe that in this case, just for Skitlanta's sake, Amber needs to take 75% of Anthony's money.
She
And
can take
after
75%.
Amber takes 75% of Anthony's money, Shayla needs to try to get um
Child
what's
support.
it called it? Oh God,
Child support.
child support. And when she tried to get her child support, it should be so ridiculous that Anthony feels like he wants to choke. And then when he find out, when they actually do a DNA test because she filed for child support, that's when I want him to find out that Kai is not his child. That's when
I
I
like
want him
that.
to find out.
I like that.
Not
I
before.
like that plan.
Not a minute before, because I want him to actually remember, if a person doesn't genuinely learn, they don't genuinely go through that. And what I was saying, not all people have to go through hardship, but a lot of people love to learn from trauma. The trauma had to be so bad, and that to me that's all that's changed people to make them be like, yo, really need to take a stock with my life. So I genuinely believe that that's when I want Anthony to find out Kai is not his baby. After I'm gonna take that 75%. And he sit with it,
75%.
now it will make him sit down and realize, I feel like that will be the only thing that will make him surrender to God's will
If he
for his
loses
life.
the
And
money.
Because that's what he values most. He values money most.
So he
I feel
values
like
money
the
more
things
than
that people value, when they lose it, it's either two things: either they don't learn and they go mad, or you get it together and hold yourself accountable, right? And I feel like for Anthony's character, he has to get to that point. So I believe 75%. And to be honest, I feel like Skitlanta could push it and let Amber get 80%. Right? Let them push it to the extremities and let her get 80%. And after she gets that 80%, I I want Anthony to find out then that Kai is not his baby, so that next time he thinks about, even if he and Amber don't get back together, next time he even think about doing somebody that, he will go about it differently. If you want to be open and you want two of it to be three of it to be together, sit down and talk about it. Be honest. Be honest. Nothing is wrong with being honest and saying, hey, I love you, but I also love this person too. I love the two of you. I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah,
But if everybody has to be on the same page,
that is true. Everybody has to be on the same
that's
page.
all. That's all I'm saying. Everybody needs to be on the same page. If I choose that, please note, you and I have that conversation. I know I chose that. That's what I chose. So I'm not coming next month to be quarreling. Oh gosh, why you do? Because I chose that.
That's true. That is true.
All right. So
Let me
that's
let
just
me ask you. Let me ask you because hold on
mhm.
because before I forget it. Before I forget it, the deadbeat. We talked about the deadbeat daddy tag, and I said black men get the deadbeat daddy tag a lot. So first and foremost, do you agree that black men get the deadbeat daddy tag more than anyone else? I bring it up because, of course, it's one of those
Yes,
things that I said a lot
I
of
do.
times. You do.
I agree that black men get the stigma a lot, but I also agree that because I also lived in the United States for years, right? I went to University of Florida. Um, After living there, that's when I saw that any any race could be a deadbeat.
There you
Any
go.
race could be a cheater. Any race could be whatever. If a man is not walking in himself and he still has that void, he could be anything. He could bring anything to the table. However, I do believe as well, from what I have seen, a lot of fathers now, black fathers, from what I've seen, stepping up into their children's lives. So let's say their fathers probably was not a good father to them. Even if they're not with the mother, they still would try to make sure they're there for their fathers, for their
Yeah,
children.
I like that.
So that's what I have noticed in Trinidad. Um, I've noticed that even the quote unquote deadbeat still coming around. He mightn't be able to financially support a child, but he would give something, and then he will try to be there emotionally and stuff like that, right? But I've noticed an improvement over the years. I have personally noticed an improvement. I
Same,
have.
same in Jamaica. Now the question was, people were saying, so where does Anthony rank in terms of deadbeat daddy ratio? If we have a scale, essentially, because some of the times people are saying, well, hey, he's not there and him not spending the time, and there are so many parts to look at with it. Because one of the parts that I looked at was, well, the truth is that he's been asking to take the kid over to his house, and the mother saying no, and that happens a lot of times too, where a man does not want to be a deadbeat father, but the mother is not cooperative. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes women miss that. So what tends to happen is that, like in Anthony's case, the most he pretty much does is just he's just there for financing. All he's doing is there for spending. So is he in his little case? Because we already know him despicable on the other lines. But as far as deadbeat daddy status is, can he get that?
No, no, not at all. I believe that to be a father, a proper father, you have to show up there emotionally. You have to be there. You also have to be there financially, I understand, and physically, and all these things. I, however, also see Anthony does try. He does try. And I believe that Anthony is still in a space where, as I said, he values money a lot. Money is always, he values money over people. So I believe that this is why I believe that he needs to set proper boundaries with Shayla. Like, they need to go through the court system. He needs to have visitation where she can't tell him when he could take the child, and if she can't tell him he can't take over the child to the house. The court mandates every other week. Let's say this week the child by the mother, the next week the child by the father, wherever the court mandates, and it has to go through that system. I believe that is what Anthony should be doing. I believe this is why I said that Anthony and Amber are not actually talking about the things that are important. These are conversations they're supposed to have. She should already know that Anthony's name is not on the birth certificate. She should already know that it was Angelina who went and did the DNA test so that she can give her input. That's why I said that, you know, in a relationship or marriage, even if myself and you don't think on the same level, where I am strong, you might be weaker, or where you strong, I might be weaker. That's why we had to be partners. The partnership together is what will make us great. Remember,
It
we
makes
are
sense.
strong as our weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
You
It
understand what I'm
makes sense.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
if I realize that this person I dating, this is where he's struggling, and we sit down and we come up with a plan to grow in that aspect, that's what's going to take us to the next level. But Anthony and Amber dating almost like they're 20 or 19. They almost dating like a 19-year-old who in a situation like it's a lot of emotion going into decisions. They're not genuinely saying no and running this marriage like the successful business that they want to have.
So it pretty much is the same. In other words, then I think what I'm hearing you saying is that they have not kind of put it together. In other words, the joint account issue is really is like a precursor or a bigger issue to everything else. The whole idea of them not having this of them having this issue with the joint account is actually a precursor because that's the same reason why Anthony is not even bringing other things forward. Because it's not just the joint account. The joint account is just one representation of everything else. Is that what you're pretty much saying?
Yeah, and all of it, yes, that's what I'm saying. And all of it stems from Anthony not being honest.
Mm-hmm.
He's not being transparent. Amber still finding out things where she that was okay. I understand people saying that there have some people who said Anthony should not be in Amber business, Amber should not be in Anthony business. These people are married. This isn't a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
I said the
This is
same
a
thing too.
husband and a wife.
I said the same
So
thing.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion again,
Mm-hmm.
if the same way Anthony interjected into the Wayne song, which I find
Mm-hmm.
that song was brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
the same way Anthony should have used that same energy to come and say, Amber, hear this. I plan on selling the theater. I think that the reason why I want to sell the theater is because, right now, X, Y, and Z going on, and I want things to be better. Then Amber could say, well, my opinion is whatever the opinion is. And then they talk about it. And even if they still go with Anthony's idea, at least they both sat with each other and came to a decision together.
I totally agree with that. And that was my problem with it, which is exactly why I argued it so much. That's why I argued it so much and I gave it so much airtime, on the channel when I commented on it, because that's what I commented on. I said that there is no way that I'm telling you about business and you're not telling me about business. It tells me that it's a waste of time. And that's why I said, well, might as well he never had said anything about the Wayne thing then. Might as well him keep it separate if that's what the deal is. And I feel like she should have pushed a little bit more on it, but hey, so I like that. I like the way I like that. I definitely like that for sure.
Yeah, I feel like Amber also in a space where when she found out that he was keeping that from her,
Mm-hmm.
it probably trigger something. It's still triggering that emotion in her to be like, yo, Anthony's probably still lying. Anthony's still keeping things. What else is Anthony doing behind the scenes that I don't know about?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But this is why I'm saying that these two people did not take time to work through the bigger problems. That's why it will keep resurfacing in smaller ways.
Over
And
and
all
over.
of it starts off with the Anthony's dishonesty, and
Mm-hmm.
Amber is no longer in a space where she can trust him. Because to be honest, I don't even trust Anthony.
I don't trust him either. Me don't trust him as far
Everything,
as I can throw it.
everything Anthony says, every single time Anthony talk, I think Anthony lying.
I believe the same thing. I'm telling y'all,
It doesn't.
it just doesn't seem
It
real.
doesn't matter what he says. I believe he's lying, and I feel like Anthony is done that. You see, the moment when Anthony was praying and Amber was crying, and Anthony kind of started to pray over her, and he was like, God, let him deal with it. For that one moment, I thought Anthony was at a place where he was ready to surrender to God.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, he went back to being Anthony. So
Same
that feeling
actor.
left me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that feeling came in for like 2 seconds and then left me immediately after. I was like, mm-mm. He not serious. Anthony is not serious. So I genuinely hope that Skitlanta could kind of sway this where Amber sits with herself for a little bit and she figures out what choice she's going to make for the long run. Because I'm not saying that I want them to really speed up the storyline, but I do want them to speed up the storyline. I want them to speed up the storyline to a place where it's more realistic,
It's
and
more realistic right now.
it also helps us
Mm-hmm.
as the people viewing to want to
Mm-hmm.
come for more. We want to come for more. You know, we want to be there. We want to grow with the character. We want to cry with the character. We want to laugh with the character. But when you start to see the character foolish, and the character foolish every Monday morning, every other
Mm-hmm.
Monday morning, the character getting dumber and dumber.
You know I
It
watch it.
will make you start to skip some of the skits. So to be honest, I just skip a lot of the skits, you know.
It's true.
You know when I see the skits, when you go on live, or when you go out alive, or when Deontay go on a live, and they
Right.
both of you are giving the breakdown. And have another lady I started to look at as well. When the three of all are doing a breakdown, that's the only time I'm seeing most of the skits. So if let's say you only show quarter of the skits, I only show quarter of the skits. Because
Because it doesn't
plenty of
make
it,
sense for you, see.
it's
That's
not
why.
making sense.
I
It don't
deliberately
it don't
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm sorry for cutting you. I deliberately try to give y'all the main thing of the skits. So whenever I do a review, I try not to review the entire skit because some of it is just is unnecessary information. What I think you need to know is exactly what I bring up. If y'all notice the reviews, it's really just the meat. And if there is nothing for the day, you'll probably see 2 skits reviewed. If you see that, it means there is nothing for you to know. You're not really missing anything. You can skip a couple skits and not know exactly what's going on. You know what I mean? So that's exactly why I've done that. Let me give a shout out to the caller with I think Darkas gave a super chat. She says, let me just make sure I'm reading a super chat, Abby. Have Anthony ever put an Amber in? Okay. Have Anthony ever put Amber in partnership in their marriage? That's what she's asking.
no.
No. So she's never been a partner. That's what Darkas is saying. Has she ever put? Has Anthony ever said, you know what? She's actually a partner of this marriage.
No. In my opinion, I agree with that statement because I believe that Anthony still coming into this marriage as a single man.
Mm-hmm.
Amber is not genuinely his partner. Amber, right now, all he knows, he don't want to lose Amber
Mm-hmm.
because genuinely Anthony knows Amber is a good woman, probably for him, right? However, he still don't want to lose the money. It's not about,
Mm-hmm.
it's not genuinely about, hey, I want us to become actually wealthy together.
And do things
Anthony
together.
wants to become wealthy as a person. He wants to become wealthy
Well, he's already
because
wealthy,
if
but I've termed her. I'm sorry to cut you.
I I
I've
wouldn't say he's
termed her.
wealthy. I would say he has money.
Well, him have some
I
money.
would
You're
say
right. You're right.
I wouldn't say he's wealthy.
Yeah, you're right.
He,
Wealth goes to a
he has
different level
money.
because them have some money because then again, they complain with money every now and again, and I'm like, guys, y'all are complaining about some small sums of money. I have a question for you. I said that Anthony treats Amber like a concubine with a ring versus a wife. Am I incorrect in that? Am I too harsh? Because sometimes you know Charmin I say, oh,
I
you're
agree.
harsh. That's what I'm
I
treat her
agree.
like. This is a concubine with a ring, not necessarily a wife. Because a wife you consult. You go and consult your wife. You go and come and consult her. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking of doing this. I'm thinking of doing that. I want to do this. I want to do that. So she feels like she's a part of the entire thing. It feels like Amber is always clueless. Like when you hear her talking to Brittany, she's clueless. She doesn't know what's going on. She is, just in the dark, and it's just about whatever he buys. The little ring on her finger can stay. If he drops, I don't know, 50,000 on the ring on her finger, trust me, it's minuscule in comparison to what you're missing out on. That's kind of how I look at it. Give me a take.
I agree. I agree. And I also would like to add that it's Amber's fault because it's Amber who she is not showing up as her genuine self.
True.
She's not showing up as a woman that you would be like, yes, respect. I had to have respect for this woman because she also respects herself. She respects her word. She walking in her power. If every minute you had to be, hey baby, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And eh, Anthony does not have respect for Amber.
He has
It
no
boils
respect
down
for
to
her.
that. He has no respect for her. Listen, me personally, in my life, I have not really dealt with cheating with spouses, right? So I don't really understand that from a experience perspective. However, what I would say is what I've dealt with is me walking and knowing myself have caused a lot of people to feel intimidated within themselves. And that has nothing to do with me, right? Because no spouse can tell you, I just talk to them crazy and I be cursing at them, yelling at them, and acting like I have no sense. Because when I'm in business, that's where the masculine energy in me arises. When I'm home or when I'm with my spouse, that's when you get the feminine version of Abby, right? The softer version of Abby.
Okay.
So I feel like Amber has not genuinely found that. She hasn't found self. She hasn't found self by self. So Amber, and it's crazy in my mind to know you cannot submit or surrender unto a man who has not surrendered or submitted unto God because he will lead you nowhere.
That makes sense. I like that. I like that take. I like that
Once
take.
once Anthony submits or surrenders unto God, like you could be the best businessman in the world. You see, when you actually surrender to God's will and you watch me, I just be walking, I swear I just feel like I'm floating, to be honest with you. I live in my life, I feel like I floated through life. Like I just be floating. But a lot of times people don't realize that starts with you surrendering to God's will for your life. And for us, a channel that is Jesus puppet and we in a Christian space, I feel like one minute they have Amber praying and doing all this thing, and then the next minute Amber not genuinely consistent on that part. Like if you is a woman walking with God, is a woman walking with God today. If is a woman walking with God, walk with God tonight. If is a woman walking with God, walk with God tomorrow. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not saying she's supposed to be perfect. I'm not saying she's not allowed to get angry. I'm saying she is foolish in her actions.
In her actions. So hold on. So could they be showing though? Could they be showing that a lot of people are only taking God very, what you call it now, as needed? In other words, then, because a lot of people do that as well too, where the only time them call for God is literally in the midst of some issue that them having. Outside of that midst, they're out partying, them doing other little things. Is that what they're trying to show? That until she finally like does everything together, and I think that's what you're kind of saying, the point you're alluding to. You know what I mean? In other words, she's just not 100% sold on the whole idea of God. Is that what it is?
Yes, yes, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. To be honest with you, only listen to me. You see me? I am soul on God with my whole soul. It has not a person on this planet that can tell me that, my God. Nothing, 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 nothing. The kind of things God has seen me through as a woman and the kind of way God has showed up in my life, my whole existence, it has nothing, nobody. And I feel like when a person is trying to make you stray, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, if you submit it unto God, you will have to have discernment. You will just feel it in your spirit. You'll get a discernment that this partner is not for me.
Do you
And it
believe?
might not be, and it
Sorry, go
mightn't be
ahead.
that it's not for you forever. Eh? It could be that it might not be for you right now. Because in my opinion, the right person, it could be the right person for you, and they are not the right person with themselves, it's still the wrong partner.
I like that. I like that. I want write this. I want because I was about to ask you that, but I see you go right into it. So, in other words, do you believe that Amber is actually getting guidance from God about this? You say God has told her that she needs to do this. Are you believing that, or you think Amber is reading this one falsely, or she's misreading God? Because me now start getting the feeling like Amber misread God. When
And
I
with
watch the
my,
series, that's what I get.
yeah, that's the, with the way God does show up, I am 100% is not, sure it's not God talking to Amber. You
I
hear what I'm
just don't
saying?
believe.
I willing to put my soul into this, that God is not who's talking to Amber. Amber is listening to her ego.
I agree. I mean,
Amber's ego is who's talking to Amber. This is not a God thing. This is why, even though I know
uh-huh.
we in a space where we love God and we honor God and we put God to the glory, I genuinely telling you, Amber has not genuinely submitted unto God's will, because watch me. When you see God start to talk in your life, sometimes God is telling, hey, it's time to be quiet. Amber still talks too much.
See, there you go. I think you hit the nail right on the head. I just don't. That's why Miss Epic don't believe it. I don't believe. She said she was talking to God. The parts when she was talking to God, you could have seen the results. But in these parts, I don't see the results, and I feel like, and so sometimes I say, maybe it's the Job story that they're giving us back again because Job had that little time of whatever it is. But I feel like it's just is the essential suffering for nothing at all. That's what I'm wondering. I don't believe God makes you go to suffer, because I think that people do this a lot of times. Like, I don't believe God makes you just want to just suffer. God said, all right, you just go ahead and just suffer because, hey, sure, you should just suffer for, I guess, suffering's sake. I don't know why God would want to do that at all. Me have this take on God, and I feel like, I believe God put you in those circumstances, but I feel like people try to say those things. And they will say, no, what God said, no, we have to do this. And that's why I ask you the question that I'm asking right now. Because that's what she's been saying, that God has been telling her to do this. And I'm saying, but the more you do it, the less patience you have, the more you start crying, the more you have mistrust, the more you have confusion. And so my take is that when you're seeing confusion, mistrust, and a lot of negative emotions, one, sure, should they be coming to the surface? That's one, right? But two, should you be going through them, or should you be going through them alone? In other words, should you be doing them with Anthony or with them alone? That was my take on it. That's why I'm asking the question about God.
To be honest, O'Neill, I would say from my experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single relationship, well, with the exception of one, all the other relationship I have not had that many boyfriends, but I'm just saying, right? All the relationship that I've had before me and this person started dating, God told me, Abigail, no, this is
Mm.
not the person I have for you. And I would have gone with my own feeling because I believe the person have potential,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I go with based on potential.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 years later, I'm like, Bobby here, but what madness is this you experiencing here? And that's because God had seen before. I genuinely would say that Amber sees the potential Anthony has, but Anthony's not that man. It's almost like she's romanticizing Anthony to this figment she has. And the moments Anthony show up for her in that, like he make the breakfast. Look, he make the breakfast for her when he's trying to get her back. How many times he make breakfast since then?
Not many. Since then, not another time. That's about it.
The kind of energy he was putting in Amber to try to get Amber to actually look his direction. How much energy has he genuinely put into? I'm not saying that that's what he's supposed to be doing daily. Yeah? I'm just saying that genuine love. When you love somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel like it's work you're doing. It's not work. You do it because you want to. You do them because you want that person to be happy. You want
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that that person good and that person happiness making you feel happy. And this is why I say when a person
Mm-hmm.
has not rooted themselves in God 100%, the person they show up to you as is not going to be the most authentic version of themselves. Because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times they'll be trying to impress you. They'll be trying to sometimes manipulate you for whatever reason. And to me, in what I have seen, Anthony is not there. Amber is also not there because Amber still not diving into the way how she read the word and the way how I think she was fasting the other day. The way she doing this in and out and mini Mickey Mouse that she playing, it's almost like she playing peekaboo with God.
She played
She
peekaboo
playing
with God.
she playing peekaboo with God. She has not she has not integrated God's love and God, the realness of God.
Mm-hmm.
She has not integrated that into herself. So I I would agree with you 100%. I feel like I feel like these skits, to be honest, when I the piece I watch on your the piece I watch it, right? I'm not talking about the whole skit, but the piece I see, it makes me sit down and realize that we as a community, we are so broken as people.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of we genuinely put ourselves to say, hey, you know what? I need to take some time with my
Mm-hmm.
singleness to figure out who I am, to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what I want, to figure out what God has been trying to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Amber always talking to somebody, she talking to Shayla, she talking to, well, she used to be talking to Shayla, she talking to Coca, she talking to Anthony, she talking to the
Mm-hmm.
the 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 one who always called me the big head, Brittany, she talking to Dalen, she talking to Kelvin, she talking to Sonny, Amber could never be hearing God's voice because Amber does not know when to be hushed and listen.
I love that.
When God go and talk to you, God has tried to remove everybody from around you so that God could have you in silence. And I'm not saying God is going to take everybody out of your life. I'm just saying God is going to try to shake up your life so you'll be like, yo, you sit now and you
Mm-hmm.
actually sit with God.
Be
Amber is
still.
not sitting with God. Amber is not sitting with God. I believe that prayer is how we talk to God. I believe that meditation and your quietness in your fasted state,
Makes
that is
sense.
how you hear God's voice.
I like that. Makes sense.
And when you listen to me, to be honest with you, it have periods where I just go days without talking to people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even watch social media. Like I don't, for example, I just watch these skits. I can't watch other things on social media. It's too much, too much. You be pulled all over, and that's too much energy for me, particularly, right?
Sometimes it
And
is.
for
You are correct.
the
It
amount of
is.
people I deal with on a daily basis, I just have to take time, O'Neill, and to all our viewers who's listening. I genuinely just meditate for 3 hours every day, 3 hours every
Mm-hmm.
single day. 3 hours I just meditate for. I pray. After I'm finished working in the morning, I pray.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to meditation for 3 hours. That's when God has talked to me about all the things I need to do. That's when God has tell me, hey, you missed this. And sometimes I see things that I didn't even remember that pass. And now
Mm.
it makes you become aware. Amber is not taking time to do that. Because Amber is in everybody's ear. Amber is also having everybody in her ear. So she could never be in a space where she's even hearing God's voice. Amber don't even know what God's voice sound like.
Wait, so she don't know if it's
She
God talking. She knows what
she
Brittany
she
voice
don't
sound like and
she
Dylan voice.
that's the voices she knows. So even though remember when we read the Bible or when we listen to different things about God and stuff like that, when we get to that space, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we listen, the enemy does come by planting a seed in your mind, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When Brittany plant a seed in Amber mind, whether it's right or wrong, she plant a seed. Amber then starts to overthink about her seed. Then that seed starts to take root. It starts to germinate. It turns into a seedling. All of a sudden, there's a big oak tree in Amber's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is not a problem in their relationship.
That's correct. That's correct. I do agree with that. That now becomes an issue.
And Amber has a seed from every single person that she interacts with. So the enemy doesn't even have to go far to get into Amber's story because Amber is talking all over the place.
Mm.
Anybody who have ears to hear, she will tell them. And after she's done telling them, it seems that the marriage just keep it going from worse to
Getting worse
worse
and
to
worse.
worse to worse to worse. And
I
it's
can see that.
and it's, it's real sad because to be honest with you, only that have so many people living on this planet going through that daily. People laughing and talking about Amber, and they laughing and talking about Amber, and yes, skit, and we laughing and we enjoying the entertainment of it. But people living like this on a daily basis. That's so many people out here.
It is true.
They don't know where to go. They don't know who to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
And most people are afraid to ask for help. Most people are afraid to say, hey, I am feeling right now. And I don't know if you ever heard the story about the guy who was a place thing was flooded in the where he was living. And he asked God to send help, and God like send a man with a boat. He didn't take the help. He said, God will help me. Then God sent a man with a helicopter. He didn't listen to the helicopter man. He said, no, God will help me. And then when he passed away, he ended up in front of the pearly gates, and he asked God, God, why you didn't help man? God said, but I sent a man with a boat, I sent a helicopter. I said, that's how most of us, only to be honest, that's how most of us live on a daily basis. Like,
That is true.
sometimes help does come in a child's voice watching you and saying, hey, and the child smiling at you. Sometimes help come from that. Just to tell you, hey, you are loved. And most of us, we tend to be in a space where we take life so much for granted that something as simple as you seeing a butterfly passing, you're looking at that, and it like background noise. You're not taking time to enjoy those little beautiful moments that shows you that God is with you always. So this is why I say Amber is in a space where Amber, she talks too much, she doesn't listen, and she's not genuinely surrendering to God. And she has already, and it's crazy that she has surrendered to Anthony, and Anthony hasn't surrendered to God. So that's why he's leading her to a place of confusion.
My leader astray.
Yes.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. I had to bring it on because I know you was going to come on. I mean, know you're going to give me, you know what I mean? I know you're
Yeah.
going to answer my questions directly. And I love that David was on to answer me directly as well. It's no worries at all.
So thank you so very much for having me, and to everyone who is viewing
Talk to
the
them.
channel. For everyone who is viewing the channel, thank you for your time. And I hope you all please that even if you're watching Skitlanta, learn from these characters so that you don't make the same mistakes in your life.
Tell them
Please.
about your business, Abby. Tell them about your business before you go. Tell them about your business.
I am the owner of Abigail David Holistic Health. We help people get into the best shape of their lives. For example, right as we was this week or just past year, we actually did communication on how to talk to your spouse with the proper tone, right? That's what we're teaching our clients.
Nice.
So we do fitness classes as well. We get you in shape physically. And it's because, people don't realize if you walk around the place and you're always tired, you can't show up as your best self in work. You can't show up as your best self for your children or your grandchildren. You can't show up as your best self. Somebody walking on the steps, you're tired. So that's why we start off with the physical aspect of getting the person in shape physically. But then we also integrate the spiritual aspect, how to breathe and all these things. We also teach our clients how to eat effectively for their body types. We teach our clients a lot of different things about self, about oneness, about, you know, walking in your best and most
Everything.
fruitful self. So that's what Abigail David Holistic Health. And the only reason why the business have my name is because our admin had said, Abigail, people know you from in the industry, in the fitness industry for so long, and they know you're very serious. They know you're a very serious one. So if they see your name, they will take it a little more seriously.
I'll take it
So that's
seriously.
how we went with my name. But I wasn't too feeling it about my name. But it is what it is.
Make sure you
And
put it in the chat, Abby. Make sure you put it
okay.
on the businesses inside of the chat, guys. Like this is
They
a
could
community.
look us up on, they can look at, we don't really do much of social media, but they can look
And the
us up on
website,
IG, Abigail David Holistic Health,
put it in the chat.
as well as they can message our business WhatsApp. The number is 868-342-2246. We have
Hold
clients
on,
from all
Abby.
over.
Hold on,
We
Abby.
have clients in
Abby, hold on. Let me put a number in 868
342
342
2246.
2246. There we go.
Yeah, we have clients in Jamaica, we have clients in the UK, we have clients in Canada, we have clients all over the place. And you know what? To be honest, if it wasn't for COVID, we would not have had our online platform as well. So COVID was a blessing for us
So they can do it
because
from
that's also
anywhere.
anybody could join our program from
Okay.
anywhere in the world.
Nice.
Right? You all have a wonderful evening, and it was definitely my pleasure being here tonight. And I'll see you guys soon.
Always is, always is. Thank you very much, Abby. Guys, with that, I'm going to end the broadcast, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe on the video. Thank y'all very much for chilling out with me this evening. Me love the fact that we got a chance to talk. When you come on, please talk about the business at all times. Tell me about the business. Put it up on the platform so we can always celebrate it. Guys, have a great day. Bye bye.